Should you be doing everything in your business, or should a VA be helping you? Stay tuned and find out.
Welcome. Okay, here's the question. How are we dark horses? You know, the ones everyone is betting against, the ones they don't expect to win, place, or even show on the track, and they'll even laugh on us when we talk about trying. How do we show the world our greatness and triumph? Come on. Well, that's the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. This is The Dark Horse Entrepreneur. My name is Tracy Brinkman.
Push it up. What is up? What is up? What the hell is up, my Dark Horse friends and family? Welcome back to your weekly dose of strength and virtual assistant learning. I'm your Dark Horse host, Tracy Brinkman, and you, well, that, my friend, is infinitely more important. You are a driven entrepreneur, or maybe you're one in the making. Either way, you're here because you're ready to start, restart, kickstart, just start leveling up with some great marketing, personal, or business tips and results in order to build that beautiful business of yours into the empire it absolutely deserves to be. And that's why I'm bringing you another big interview episode today. Today, Gina Suzanne shares about identifying your strengths, turning breakups into springboards, creating loyalty, and caring about both sides of a people transaction. Plus, I want to let you in on next week's interview episode guest who has been building companies and leading sales teams for over 20 years. As per usual, the Dark Horse Corrals are chock full of personal, business, and marketing gold spilling from every corner of the Dark Horse Entrepreneur HQ. So let's get to the starting gates and go. All right, my Dark Horse friends and family, today's guest, as you know, is the also fiery Gina Suzanne. Now, Gina is one of the most sought after operational strategists in the entrepreneurial game. She is known for helping business owners remove themselves from their business. And how is she doing that? Yeah, she's doing that through some highly efficient and customized systems, processes, and teams. She's the founder of Gina Suzanne Consulting and Structure to Scale, which provides the teams and those systems needed to scale past 7 figures while resulting in more freedom, more profit, and of course, more peace of mind. All right, Gina, we're just going to cut straight to it. Welcome to the Dark Horse Entrepreneur, girl. Long time no talk to.
It's been a minute. I'm so excited. I'm honored to be on this show because I watched it come into fruition and now I'm on it. It's life has come full circle right now.
Isn't that kind of cool? It was funny is that for those that don't know, I was involved in a course with Gina as running the show. And here's one of the cool things I remember. Not so much all the excellent content and the guidance you gave me, which was fire, by the way. But one of the first things she told me was, "You remind me of my dad." And I was like, "What?"
Bring it up.
which is usually a compliment. And again, in this case, I took it as one. There's been a few times someone says, "You remind me of my dad," and he's a butthead. Okay, well, anyway, not in this case.
My dad is the single greatest person on this earth. My dad. You're second, but my dad is first. So it was the highest of all compliments, actually.
Fire. Awesome. Well, I want to step back and shut my babbling mouth for a couple of moments. And I want you to tell your story, the good, the bad, the ugly, the ups, the downs, the rights, the lefts that brought you to where you are and why you love doing what you do so much.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I think I have quite the story. I'm going to go back, too many years. Okay, not really, but I'm going to go back to college. I was a chemical engineer. So I was in chemical engineering school and not a good engineer like this. Not good at numbers, not good at being an engineer, but I had this other gift that I think maybe it wasn't the first time I've seen that gift come up in myself, but I had seen it the most starting, to be words are so hard right now. I saw it the most in college. So it was this gift of identifying gaps and optimizations that can be done in communities, businesses that translated to. So I was always doing something that I wasn't asked of me, but was needed to be done. And then people were always so thankful at the end until I went into corporate America as an engineer. And I was doing everything but my engineering work. And I eventually got fired. So, but I was doing all these things we need an operations manual. We need an onboarding guide. I was doing all these things hey, let's make templates of this content so we don't have to, reinvent the wheel every time. I was saying all of these things and they were like, wow, that's so great. Thanks. But we need you to do your, the calculations. We need you to write this equipment guide. Like, I was doing everything I wasn't supposed to be. And then I eventually got fired. However, there was a point right before I got fired where I went on a really long trip across Asia. And that's where I had met my partner of the time. Mm-hmm. So I had something to fall back on. So as soon as I got fired, I actually left the country of America. I'm from Philly. And I started traveling full time. And so I didn't have my cushy engineering job, which I was like making bank on. I was like living my best life. I could like go to Whole Foods, roll up in the cheese section and like fill my cart, not even think about it. Like those were the good old days. So I was, I was teaching English at the time. I was like writing SEO articles. I was doing that digital nomad thing, traveling across the world. And I always had been entrepreneurial. I'd always like wanted to run businesses. So I had started a few businesses during our time traveling. And even like before that. But my partner and I had started a podcasting media company where we were teaching entrepreneurs like yourself how to start a successful podcast, rank on iTunes, and that's kind of how I really got my start running businesses. And I like running a business, being a COO is like my niche. Like it's what I love to do. So from there, we had a huge team. We had a great community. I have since, departed from that chapter in my life. Really brutal breakup, really hard, really disgusting, really nasty. And I'm like friends with every other ex I've ever had. So like, this is like super new to me to like navigate through here. So if we want to dive into that, like I was completely blindsided, asked to, leave the country, the house, the business, the team. So in like 24 hours, I was completely lost, what I thought was the love of my life, my business of my life, my team, and I was outside of the country. We were living in Costa Rica. So I had like gone from 100 to 0 in 24 hours and I was a wreck. It was.
Wow. And where do you go with something like that? I was sitting there listening to, because I knew you during that time frame, right? And you kept it very internal. Now you probably had your inner circle of friends that you shared more than you ever did with me, obviously. But on the surface, from the outside looking in, I didn't see that, which is probably good, right? But I liken it to my divorce, where it's like, right, there's like when the car hits the wall and the wall doesn't move, well, obviously the car folds and there's this melange of damage. I can only imagine what it was going through. So, man, I want to step back. We might go there.
Okay.
And we
can go wherever you want.
Oh, right, right. we might go, because that's a tough one. That's a big thing. A lot of folks don't know how to handle. Let's pause here for a minute. Okay. So you're asked to leave, like you mentioned, your company, your team, your relationship, the home, which was overseas. You weren't even in here. You were from the US, and everything. Yeah. And you were like, hey, now you got to bounce, right? What do you do? I mean, what's the first thing your head's going, WTF? What the fuck? I can go ahead and say it. It's my show, right? You can say it too.
Yeah. Okay, good. I literally did not know. I feel like people say like, oh, like the world flipped upside down. Like I literally felt like I had nothing. And I've been always the person who's like had safety nets. I'm very risk averse. And I had like totally bought in that it was like forever. Like I was in some kind of dream world and I probably painted a picture perfect life, although it wasn't in person. And I don't know, hindsight's 2020. Like it was the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Okay. There's the story I like to hear. Right? And damn it, you had to go through it, right? But it sounds like you learned from the adventure. I don't want to call it the dip in your roller coaster. I call life a roller coaster. And you've got those dips. It's fun and you're riding and having a great time. All of a sudden, right?
Yeah, literally. No, I'm so glad it happened. Like I kind of knew in the moment that this was like the springboard that I needed. However, it hurt so bad. Like I remember I was laying on the floor. It was a cold tile floor and I was like laying in my own vomit because I couldn't stop crying and throwing up. Because I was like, what am I going to do? I don't have a job. I don't have a team. I don't have any money. because we were bootstrapping it. We weren't, I wasn't getting paid barely anything, and all the money went towards rent. So it was so scary. So I went back to my parents' house, and before I got there, I got COVID in the airport. So I was isolated for 3 or 4 weeks alone with COVID, dealing with all of this. Also trying to build a new business because homegirl's got to make money.
Got to pay them bills, right? Okay, so let's go there, right? Let's go past the COVID thing. That's a whole nother show right there.
That's a whole nother episode.
Right. So you start a new business. Where are you headed now with this new adventure?
Okay. So first of all, I have to shout out to my incredible team. Something that really happened to me, and I couldn't have done this without them, is the two people that got me through this entire situation was my team from my previous company. Mm-hmm. Now, we were instructed by, my previous partner not to speak to each other. I wasn't allowed to talk to them. They weren't allowed to talk to me, but we had such a connection that we were sisters in a way, mm-hmm. like big sisters to each other. So honestly, I was in contact with them all the time. They were like sending me Bible verses. They were just like sending me funny videos. We were never going to give up each other. And we knew, you can't tell someone not to talk to someone. So it's fine.
I feel that, yeah.
So the first thing they said to me is, we're going with you. And I was like, you can't come with me. First of all, he needs you. He has to pay you. I can't pay you. I can't do anything. And they're like, we're going to work for free until you're back on your feet. So they ended up leaving and coming to my fake, made up, not real at all company that we didn't do anything yet. We were just building from the ground up. And that was, January. And now it's June. So it was 6 months ago. And now we have a few companies. It's kind of crazy. So right now we do systems and consulting for digital startups. So we help overworked visionaries get their time and freedom back through systems, processes, and teams. So that's like what we're really good at. We come into your business, we analyze what's going on, and then develop systems and processes and SOPs so that, your team can be running smoothly. If you don't have a team, we get you a team. That blew up really fast. Actually, everyone else kind of decided what I would be doing because I got a lot of phone calls once they heard that I was, on the market business wise. So I kind of got a lot of phone calls. It was overwhelming. So I started that consulting business. Now it's just, I fired all my clients, and now we're starting to do a mastermind course that's not quite launching yet. But that's because I wanted to help more than just the people who are calling me, if that makes sense.
It does make sense. And is the mastermind course going to be on that same topic of getting your time back, helping those basically the same thing you were doing for those individual clients, but you're going to break it out into a bigger group?
Yes. Nice. Now, I haven't told anyone this, so you're literally the first person to know, but it's going to be CEOs, founders like ourselves. We're too busy to take another course. I can't imagine sitting down and taking a course. What? Imagine taking the podcasting course again. That was 4 hard weeks of your life.
Yeah.
Okay. So this actually is geared towards your executive or virtual assistant for them to take it. And there are some modules that you would need to watch so you can do the whole process, but it's turning your VA into an ops manager to run your business. So it's what I see most of the times when I'm going into these business and analyzing the flaws and what needs to be optimized, I'm seeing these same few things repeat. And I've trained, I've trained my own team on this, other people's teams on this. I've hired teams and then trained them on this. So that's what the course is going to be. So you don't actually have to take it. You can just send your EA or VA. And if you don't have that, we can also hire them for you but I don't market that service. So don't tell anyone about it. Definitely don't put it on a podcast.
Yeah, right. We don't want to be talking about things like that on the air. No, that's actually fire because you've thought this past that first step. I know there's so many business owners, entrepreneurs, indiepreneurs, solopreneurs. They're like, oh, what a great idea. I need to take that course. Yet in the back of their head, they're going, damn, I don't have another 40 hours to dedicate to learning this. And you're like, no, you don't have to do that. That's the point. You're not supposed to be doing that. You're supposed to be handing that off to other folks. That's That's fire. Now, is that a few weeks out?
Oh, no, we're a few months out.
Oh, you're a few months out. So, okay.
We're a few months out.
At the time of this recording, this will probably be dropping in about 5 weeks from the time we're talking right now.
Okay.
So it'll still be another
only a month or
in.
two then.
Okay, there you go. All right. So we'll be keeping the ears open. And as you release that, let me know. And I will add that update of information into the show notes so people can go check it out later on. Absolutely.
Thank you.
And I can attest to this gift you've talked about, because when I went through the course that you and your former partner were involved in, a lot of the pieces, you were explaining and walking through, and hey, I did this because of that. And I was like, I totally get this. It was, everything just made sense, because it was like ka-chunka. It was like step 1, step 2, step 3. And so many courses,
I'm so glad.
So many courses that I see out there, and I've partaken in probably a 1 or 2. Okay. Probably way too many of them, where they're like, here's all the things you need to do. And you're like, stop. I can't do all those things. I
can't keep up anymore.
No, you gotta baby step me through. And I think I'm pretty smart. And I think that's probably one of the big failures of so many business owners, like you were saying, where they're trying to do everything. And even in chime in here in a second. So when you see, let's say, a solopreneur, right? They have to do everything. They're wearing all the hats. And maybe they are just getting into where they just hired a VA. Do you find that they don't want to let go, or they just don't know how? What steps do I hand off? Maybe it's a combination?
Okay. I see this all the time. And most people want to be able to let go and give out the stuff, but they're not good at explaining the task. So when they do, the task doesn't get done to their ability. Then they get frustrated. They think EAs don't work. Then it reinforces that they have to do everything. And it's this horrible, nasty cycle. So when we do hire EAs and VAs for people, we do an onboarding training plan. And it's not just training them, it's actually training you too. Because a lot of visionaries are exactly that. They're visionaries. They see way past what most people see in their head. And that's why they're so brilliant. That's why my partner was brilliant. Everything you learned in that course was things he's learned and taught and developed. Brilliant. Brilliant. I was just putting it together. So I'm really good at the communication between, which doesn't sound like it because words seem very hard for me right now. But when you're describing tasks and delegating, it's kind of an art. So that's what we kind of go over. But I do see a lot of times where people can't let go, but only because they've tried in the past and it's just gone so bad.
Yeah. I think there's something to be said for some of the personality differences, and there's all kinds of different tests that are out there. Obviously, there are folks that are, like you were saying, they're the visionary. They're thinking 87 steps ahead, and God love those folks. And then there are folks that are let's call them integrators, right? They're the ones that are in the middle. They're not the operators. They're not the visionaries. They're kind of in the middle taking, here you go. If you see those old movies where the old operators were sitting at the desk and there's all those wires in front of them. Oh, you need to talk to this person here. That's where it goes here and plugs it in, right? That's an integrator, right? They're grabbing that plug. Oh, I need, Fahrenheit 451. Okay, that's over here. And you need Disco 123. That goes over there. Those integrators, and we need them. And then we need the operators, because they're actually the ones doing the task.
Doing it.
Yeah. So, you've got all those, everyone has their place. And when everyone's doing their role that their kind of head kind of fits them into, man, the machine just hums. So sweet.
So true. You need all of those people. You really do.
And you have to, you have to admit where you are in the organization. I've seen folks that think they need to be the CEO and they suck at it. Dude, you suck as a CEO. Hire someone else to do that, and you do the job that you rock at, and then everyone's good. Sometimes it's that ego thing that steps in.
So true. And I get it. It's your baby. You want to hold on to it. And you probably know how to do everything the best there is. But can you really lean into your strengths and the things that you need to do? If you're working in your business every day, you can't be working on your business.
Amen.
And then you can't grow and scale. So that's kind of our whole goal. but training your EA and your VA. But some people just don't know what to do or what they can delegate. But definitely if you're a solo entrepreneur, my biggest suggestion as your first hire, because people are like, who do you hire first? What do you delegate first? Would be an EA or a VA, which stands for executive or virtual assistant. In case someone's like, what do these acronyms mean?
So let's dig around there for a minute. I mean, there's so many opportunities. You've seen them everywhere. And actually, I get peppered in my DMs, it seems like every day on Facebook. Hey, we will get you a virtual assistant. And I'm like, I got it. Thank you very much. I'm good. What are your, when folks come to you and say, hey, where do I get an EA or VA? Where do you direct them to?
Yeah, well, first of all, I direct them myself if I know them, and I'm very choosy with what clients I bring on because I want.
You're now listening to the Dark Horse Entrepreneur Podcast.
I don't just look out for the client; I also look out for the talent because our hiring process is so rigorous that anyone who makes it through, I deeply, deeply care about. I want them to go to good people. It's like I'm like rehoming talent.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure. So I feel super responsible for both sides, or whether I'm like serving you as a client or you as talent. But I love Filipino offshore hires. Their work ethic and their loyalty and core values to family and high execution. And they just have a really hard work ethic that I really enjoy working with Filipino offshore workers. So that's where my candidate pool is sourced from. And man, I've just been so overwhelmed with the success from them.
Sweet. All right. So if anyone's out there looking for an EA or a VA, you heard her, go to her first. Now, you got to have your head on straight. Otherwise, Gina's going to kick you out the door. I'm telling you. She'll do it nicely, of course. She'll give you a little shove.
We run a tight ship here.
But there you go. I think that's that integrator part of you. It's like you're not just looking at someone as a dollar sign. Otherwise, you'd just be like, yeah, okay, cool. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
But as that integrator mindset, you're like, okay, I'm going to take you. Oh, you're going to fit great with this person over here and vice versa. And if it didn't work, well, then you wouldn't connect those two. See, you figured your spot out. That's awesome.
Thanks. It's really what I like. I really like doing it.
And the big smile keeps coming back to your face because you like doing it.
I love the people.
Right.
I feel like I'm matchmaking, but like for even more of a serious relationship because it's a business relationship. Because most people like my EA, which I don't even like to call her that because she's like, I usually call her my rock, my queen, my everything. Shout out to Marge. Like I would gladly hang out with her off hours. Like I do text her off hours, so I like to bring that to my clients as well. So I'm really picky about, and that's what, and like, let's give out tips for people who are doing their own hiring. If that's okay. You do want to screen for, so people are like, oh, experience, meh. I can teach anyone anything. What I cannot teach you is to show up hungry every day, to show up with that work ethic, to go above and beyond, to kind of anticipate my needs. So when I'm screening for these kinds of things, beyond experience, but more so energy and vibe. Because if you're having a low day, first of all, being a leader in a company is a hard role emotionally. And no one really talks about that. And I'm not going to either, but it is. Different podcast. So when I'm having a low day, like I don't want to have to be the one to lift everyone up every single day. I want to be able to count on my team to lift me up as well. And man, do they? Like they can tell when I'm having a bad day, and they bring it even harder. So it's really important to me if I have energy around me because like #depression sucks. So I need that sometimes. So I'm really like cautious of the people I bring into my circle, and the energy I give. So my team members have to be positive and high energy and funny.
That's fire right there. That's one of the things I think is huge when it comes to building a team. And that's probably where we're going to go next is we talked about the different stages of everybody is that now, you're the integrator, you're this person, you're that person. That's awesome. But if your vibe sucks, I don't care how good of an integrator, how good of an operator you are. I'm sorry, I don't want you around. It just doesn't work. Like you said, it's that there's that energy pool that you want to bring, that resonance that when we're together, man, we're fire. You can liken it to a good band, right? We've all had that band that when you heard them, you're like, God, these guys are awesome. And then one member leaves. I don't care who it is. Doesn't even have to be the person in the front. One member leaves and the whole thing falls apart. And you're like, what is up? It's just a drummer, but it's never the same, right?
You're right. You're so right. And I feel like I know that people, when they like coming to work or like being surrounded with the people, they do better work. I've seen it. I've felt it. I've hired for it. And one of my team members this morning, we have an annual meeting tomorrow. And she's like, last time we had an annual meeting with our old company, she's like, I didn't really want to go. And she's like, I'm so excited for tomorrow. I was like, me too. Like,
that's awesome.
We're, like, so excited to show up to our meetings because it's just different. It just feels different. And I can see it on their faces. And plus they can't stop telling me. So like, that's all I really want is, to be a good boss and to provide. Also, it's like so scary having to provide for other people.
People are relying on you now, right?
For sure.
You're the head chick in charge.
It's scary, but I take that responsibility so close to my heart. So,
well, I can say this with all sincerity. I've seen your heart from day one. I mean, when you stepped onto the screen with the whole podcast thing, I mean, you were caring for each and every person that was there. And they paid money and whatever like this. I mean, you really brought it every time. And I watched you go the extra mile time and time again. So, and that shows. So I'm sure that shows to your team and everyone that will be engaging with you in this upcoming mastermind as well.
Wow. Well, thank you for that. It's really kind of you to say. It's because I loved it. I really did love it.
Well, and there it is right there. So, okay. So any other, let's fire off. You have another tip for building your team. So we're going to be screening for that hunger. You can teach them everything, but you want to screen for that hunger and that energy, right?
I also like to build diverse teams. And this is kind of a double-edged sword. And I want to play devil's advocate for this both.
Okay.
Because I know a lot of offshore teams, I try to keep it within the same country due to cultures and the way of speaking. And I like that they're kind of all in the same way. But I also like diverse teams from different areas, different languages, all walks of life, because it kind of brings different perspective. And I want to give you an analogy. Where do you keep your ketchup? Like after you open it, do you keep it in the fridge or do you keep it in the cupboard?
I keep mine in a cupboard.
Okay. You keep yours in the cupboard. I keep mine in the fridge.
Okay.
Now say you're not baking something, probably not baking with ketchup. Say you're cooking something and the recipe calls for ketchup. You go to the cupboard. I go to the fridge and you're out of it. So depending on where you're looking, you're going to look for substitutes. So if I'm in the fridge, I might grab the sweet chili sauce because it's right next to it in the fridge. But if you're in the cupboard, you might grab molasses or something,
right.
So I really like diverse teams because when you come to a problem, they're going to have different solutions, a different pathway of solutions. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense. Yeah.
So I really love having diverse teams for that reason.
And I think with so many political flags going up, diverse means so many different things to different folks, right? And we're not talking about your color, your race, or any of this noise. It's like your experience,
Yes.
So like Gina will come to the table and bring all this engineering, heartfelt, let's bring the people together kind of experience, where Tracy's going to bring this old bearded kind of rock and roll thought process, and then someone else will bring, I don't know, maybe a hip hop flair, whatever it is, but we all have a unique way of thinking. Does that make sense?
It's exactly, you got it. Diverse. It means literally everyone's so diverse from each other. Like experience comes down to experience. That diversity really plays super well when you get into, I find, like a brainstorming exercise. Okay, everybody, here's the problem we're trying to solve. We want everyone's idea, no limits, no critiquing, and go. No wrong answers.
No wrong answers, right? You just go around the room, and if someone says one thing, and then Tracy says something, and Gina says something, and then the first person says, hearing all those other things, go, It makes them think of something new. And now, because of that diversity and that speaking openly, new ideas are brought to the forefront. Now Gina says, oh, wow, that makes me think of this. And, the next thing you know, the power of multiple and diverse minds far exceeds my imagination. That's for sure.
And I think that most people don't think of their like EAs or VAs as like, and this is really sad. This is like really sad, but I see this too much. They don't really see them as like, I don't want to say people, but like, if you're not a marketing mind, like I'm not going to ask my VA for advice. No, I do. I do, because they're seeing it from a different angle. I'm absolutely going to make it a point to ask them. So I always include, every team member in these kind of sessions to get their opinion on things. I think that's a really big hack.
Yeah, no mind is too small. No mind is too big. Bring them all in, because you're right. Some of the best ideas come from the bottom, right? Mr. CEO, he's so far disconnected that he might not know anymore, right? You need the person that boots on the ground so that they can say, look, I keep hearing this from your customers. We need to solve that. Forget about creating the next new widget. Solve the current problem you have, keep your current customers happy, then come up with the new widget, right?
100%. That's why in our meetings, so we do team meetings every day. And this is another good thing for team building. We have a daily team meeting. Okay. Ours is a little bit longer because we like to chit chat. However, you can do it in about 12, 15 minutes every day. Most important part of your day. Do not skip it. Is at the same time every day. Every single person is on this Zoom call or in the same room. Okay, we go over a few things. We always start out with, first is grateful. What are you grateful for today? Doesn't have to be about the business. Doesn't have to be about anything. I don't care. No repeats, no stealing answers. Those are the two rules. So you are forced every day to think of something. Today I was like, I am grateful for the sun. Like that. I never said that one before. And I was in the pool while we had our meeting and I was getting a suntan. And I'm grateful for this moment. So that's the first thing we do when we go around. And then we do any wins. So this business wins or personal wins. Again, we take down that barrier that this is a work thing. We're just working on putting ourselves in the right mindset before we go into this meeting.
Right.
And then we set the intention for the day. What is your intention? Usually it is work wise at this point. Sure. Unless, getting your vaccination, #COVID. Like that's my intention for the day. So then we jump into current clients, old clients, because we always, even though like a contract's been done and dusted, we love to circle back. It's been a few weeks since we talked to that person. Let's just check in, or any questions from this person. Have you heard from them? What are they doing? So we always like to bring up old clients. And then we do questions, comments, concerns, complaints. That's one slide. So I'm asking, I'm asking my team, is there anything on your heart that like you need to tell me? Like, are you overwhelmed? Do you need more hours? Do you need more, I want to know. I want to give them the opportunity to ask any questions or voice any concerns or complaints that they have that day, because I need to know if something's bad or not. And usually people aren't having that avenue to voice your concerns.
Yeah.
And sometimes a team member will bring up for another team member if they're shy, which I like that too. But it's always a safe space and they know that. And there's never and that's sometimes we hear problems and then we tackle them. And it's like, you never have to, used to be at such a terrible, terrible company. Not with my ex, when I was an engineer.
Sure.
And it was just, right. Yeah.
Let's clarify that, everyone.
I'm not here to throw any shade. And he was a really terrible, terrible leader. And it was so heavy on my heart every day. And I wanted to tell him how I felt every day and I couldn't. And there was never an avenue to voice any changes. So I always make sure that. And then we follow up with a meditation visualization, 1 minute. We share what we're like focusing on for the future. And then we just meditate on it for 1 minute. That's it. 60 seconds, minute of quietness. I think that's how we do our team meetings. Yeah, I think I covered everything. Oh, we go over the calendar, but anyway, cool. So details. Making sure that my team's all on the same page, headspace wise, and they're like, if they have any problems or concerns about their work. That's what we've been doing, and it really has changed the game in terms of productivity, in terms of team communication, in terms of being on the same page with the vision. Oh, I forgot the most important part. Sorry. Oh. Last one is caught being awesome. We have a slide, and based on our core values, who was caught being awesome, living out one of the core values. So we anyone can nominate anyone. You can nominate yourself. I do it sometimes.
Because you're awesome.
It was really awesome for getting that done. So I like to point out that it comes back to living out our core values. And I like to make sure everyone has recognition for even the smallest thing.
That's fire. That's fire. I'm a woo-woo guy. I know I don't always look it,
I wouldn't have guessed.
Right. But do you find anyone has resistance to things like the gratitude or the visualization meditation?
So I thought I was going to get more pushback on incorporating the manifestation visualization minute. And really it's up to them what they do with that minute of silence. I can't get in their brain. However, I like that they share with me what they're going for. And so far, no negative energy. I'm not like asking them to pray or anything.
Sure.
But they can use that 1 minute however they want.
That's awesome. That's fire. But that comes back to screening for those hungry folks that have that energy and vibe that clicks with you. If they have that kind of click with me vibe, they're gonna feel open to a little moment of meditation, a little moment of gratitude. Yeah.
A second's not gonna kill anyone.
That's right.
A minute, I mean.
That's right. Yeah. Now I'm a big fan of that. Right.
Me too.
Oh, I love it. And journaling, man. My daughter, because she knows I journal so much, she got this for me. And it says, The Musings of Tracy Brinkman.
That's the best gift I've ever seen.
Isn't that cool?
What a beautiful thing.
I know. It was probably the cheapest gift I've ever gotten from someone, but it's not about the money. It's
nice.
about where it comes from. Oh, it's fire.
Oh, that thought. That's so nice.
Right?
I'm going to steal that gift idea.
There you go. Right there. Okay. So it's the Dark Horse Entrepreneur. You ever identify, and you know what a dark horse is, right? I explained it to you almost a year ago now. Do you remember?
Yeah, but can you like reiterate for the other people in this room?
It's like another version of the underdog, right? The one no one expects to win. And sometimes even those in your own inner circle, right? They're like, are you sure you want to do that? I don't think you can. You're like, I got this. You just need to run your race. So those are those dark horses. They come from behind and they cross that finish line.
Dark horse.
Yeah. How do you tackle that dark horse persona in the entrepreneurial world to bust through and cross that finish line?
Oof. All right. Because you said you were woo woo, I'm gonna get woo woo.
Go woo woo.
I am always trying to connect with like my higher self, which I don't even know what that means yet. I know she's there. And I was watching a TikTok of all things, and they're like, you don't actually have to wait because your higher self is already in you. You just have to connect to it. Like you've already, like time is not linear or whatever those people say. Right. And you're already living that higher life in this moment, and you just have to channel them. So when I need to like become me as a dark horse, like I'm always channeling like the end goal that's already happened, because I know it's already happened somewhere, and I'm just reminding myself that, oh, it's already been done. You just need to, keep going. Like I can't explain it, and I'm definitely not a person who's good at words. But
I get it. Here's how I look at it in my little goal setting course, right? First thing I try to put people through is looking out. And I call it the vista vision. You're sitting up on a vista high on there. Maybe you're sitting on the cliff if you're willing to look down, and you're looking over the landscape that is the ultimate life that you want, right? You got the perfect mate, you got the house, the car, the kids, the dog, whatever. How does it smell? How does it feel, right? You're absorbing all those things, right? So that's your future you. You're just talking to that person. That's what I heard you just say. I'm just reaching out to that person that's sitting on that vista vision. I'm going, what's up? How's it going? Right? And you're just asking the question. So how did you get here? Oh, well, here's what I did. I did this and I did that. And you're like, got it. Let me write that down. And then you start executing those things, right?
Exactly. Because a person like is already in me. I just need to just connect with it a little bit, Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you manifest and visualize, like, I always pretend like I've already done it, right? It's already happened because your brain doesn't know the difference.
Right.
So I'm already there. I'm living that life now.
Yeah.
So far that's worked.
Yeah. And now you just got to bring it to this version of the universe, whatever that, like you said, it's hard to explain, right? Parallel, whatever. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to be mindful of your time, and I really appreciate you coming on and hanging out. But if folks want to check out more of Gina and this mastermind thing she's got coming on the horizon, or learn more about her VA mastery, all that kind of stuff, where do we want to send them?
Yeah. Okay. So the best place to find me is actually Facebook. So facebook.com/The Real Gina Suzanne. And we'll put that in the show notes, but
yeah, absolutely.
That's the best place to find me. You can send me a message on there, and we'll see how we can help you. And even if you just want to pick my brain, I'm cool with that too.
Sweet. All right. And then, of course, when you get this mastermind put together, you'll let me know about that, and we'll drop that into these show notes too.
Absolutely. It's going to be incredible.
All right, Gina. Thank you so much. I definitely appreciate you.
Oh my gosh. I'm so glad to be on the show. Thank you so much for having me. Finally, after seeing it, I'm just so excited. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, there you have it, my Dark Horse friends and family. Gina Suzanne dropping operationally efficient bombs on us today. What thoughts or ideas resonated with you? She gave so many, but let me share 4 that kind of clicked with me right off the bat. And like I said, she shared so many. Thought number 1, identify your strengths. Gina shared early on in her collegiate career that she found her strengths for being able to find and fill gaps in processes and communities and obviously business. She kept applying this strength even though it was not a core need in the field that she was focused on. She focused on it so much that, as she herself said, it resulted in her getting fired. Now, these were things that needed to be done, and she was excellent at doing them. But alas, they were not what her employers thought she should be focused on. So here's the question I'm going to ask you, my Dark Horse friend. Do you know your strengths? Are you leveraging them to your advantage, to the advantage of your business, to the advantage of your spirituality, your relationships? Are you integrating them into your career path, your entrepreneurial path, your life path, your relationship path, your spiritual path? I want to dive a bit more into this in episode 232, Ways to Identify Your Strengths. Thought number 2, breakups can be springboards. Now, Gina shared that she had built a relationship and a business at the same time with a former partner in life and in business. Then, out of the blue, she was asked to leave. She was asked to leave not only the relationship, but the business as well. Out of the blue, her whole life was turned upside down in a moment. But she did learn some lessons as a result, and even called it herself the best thing that ever happened to her. Look, here's the thing. It's never easy to end a relationship, be it a personal relationship or a business relationship, any relationship, right? But I still want to take a stab at discussing it a bit more in episode 233, signs that you might need to break up with your partner. And this might be a business partner or otherwise, right? Maybe we should call that episode Signs That You Might Need to Break Up with Your Partnership. I don't know. Thought number 3, create loyalty. Now, Gina herself didn't call this out specifically, but I want to call it out for her. Gina was able to create a sincere bond and loyalty with those that she worked with and led in the business that she was asked to exit out of. As a result of being such an inspired and sincere leader, some of those people, they followed her, even though she had no new business capital from which she could offer them some payroll. They didn't care. They said they'd work for free. They found someone that they resonated with. Someone with whom their energy matched, right? Remember we talked about energy last week in episode 228 with Billy Bat? Go back and give that a listen. That was an awesome episode. Anyway, as a result, Gina was able to quickly springboard her breakup, both the personal and the business, into a new venture because she was an inspiring leader. I want to share some thoughts about being such an inspired leader in a Facebook called To Be an Inspired Leader, You Need These Traits. And I'm going to share what those are in that live in the Dark Horse Facebook group, the Dark Horse Tribe Facebook group. All right, so come check that out. That will be Tuesday. Thought number 4, do not do it all. Do your strengths. Gina shared the importance of all those entrepreneurs and solopreneurs out there not trying to do it all themselves. Rather, focus on your strengths. A pitfall that so many fall into is, especially when they're bringing on new help, is they're not often up to par. You could say even not competent in passing along the processes they've built, if there is any, right? The processes they've built to get tasks done so that the task is done to their liking. And as a result of not being able to effectively pass along that task, quite often the task is not accomplished to their liking, which further embeds the belief that they have to do it themselves. I want to dive a bit more into this during an upcoming Facebook Live, probably on Thursday, and we're going to call this one Stop Doing Everything Yourself. We'll do this one on Thursday in the Dark Horse Tribe Facebook group. All right, so what inspiring ideas, tips, or thoughts resonated with you from Gina or myself today, right? Whatever they were, take some time right now, as quickly as possible, to write them down. Grab a pen, a piece of paper, a napkin, a piece of toilet paper, and write it down, right? And then, yeah, that's right, put them into action. Get out there, run your race, get your results, and then come back and let me hear about them. I'm serious. Email me at tracy@darkhorseschooling.com and share the tips or ideas that you came away with, how you put them into action, and what results you gained from doing that. Heck, who knows? Maybe we'll even bring you on the show to share those ideas, those tips, those actions, and those results about your business. All right, now next week, our interview episode guest is going to be J.M. Ryerson. Now, J.M. is an author, a mindset coach. He's also the host of the Let's Go Win podcast. J.M. has been building companies and leading sales teams for over 20 years. J.M. is the founder and the CEO of Let's Go Win, whose mission is to increase leadership, enhance culture, and help build teams' peak performance. So help teams build and achieve their peak performance. I'm not even going to edit that out. Right. Now, I know you want to keep getting all these valuable tips and these awesome stories from the guests I'm able to bring on to this podcast. So please go on down there, hit that subscribe button while you're there. That's right. Drop us a 5-star rating. Leave us some kind words in the reviews. Ask some questions. Leave some comments, some suggestions. I read every single one of these reviews. I really appreciate everyone's input. And of course, do not keep all this entrepreneurial GOLD all to yourself. Share the podcast with other entrepreneurs and business owners that you know will get value from it. And with that, I'm going to leave you as I always do, my friend. Think successfully and take action.
Thank you for listening to the Dark Horse Entrepreneur Podcast.
Thanks for tuning in.
Check us out at www.darkhorseschooling.com.
All right.
My name is Tracy Brinkman.